Hello and welcome, Bobcat fans. We're glad to have you with us tonight. It's week 3 of the 2012 season, and your Bobcats have made the short trip to Columbia, Mississippi to challenge their old rivals, the Columbia Academy Cougars. My name is Nathan Dancy, and I will be joined by my broadcast partner, Drew Smith, in just a moment. But first, let's recap how these teams got to this point. PCS enters tonight's contest after knocking off AA foe Simpson Academy last week and ending their 15-game winning streak. Lee Sigers was a big factor in that game as he was able to find the end zone twice. In their season opener, the Bobcats faced juggernaut Jackson Academy and came up just short, 21-12. Columbia comes into tonight's game with a mark of 2-0 by defeating Prentice Christian 44-22 to open the season and cruising past Salem High School last week 27-7. For more on the Cougars, I'm going to bring in Drew Smith. Drew, tell us what we should watch out for from this Columbia squad tonight.
Well, you mentioned a little bit about Columbia, but the recent years they haven't had as much success. But this year, if you look back, I guess to their winning trends that we're looking at here, last year they had 2 wins total, and this year already they have 2. So they've tied their wins for last year, and they're coming in 2-0. They're going to have a lot to play for. They haven't beat PCS in about 4 or 5 years that I've seen. It's been a kind of a dry streak for them playing us. So they're going to have plenty to play for. They're coming in with a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence. And they've got a good quarterback, experienced quarterback, Garrett McGee, and they've also got a pretty good running back from what we hear, number 44, Chandler Fairley, and he's going to be somebody to look out for. And we'll get to that in just a minute, a little more about player breakdowns and who to watch for both teams. But Columbia, they're gonna give us a very good ball game. I know it's 3 for 3 on rain games, wet. I mean, anything happens on a wet field, and you don't take care of the football, you can very well lose any game to anybody, and so it's going to be about who takes care of the football tonight, just as it has been against JA and Simpson last week. We took care of the ball a lot better than Simpson did, and we won.
Some teams have winning streaks. We have a 100% rain streak so far this year, 3 for 3
kidding.
Going. And you alluded to Chandler Fairley, the fullback for this Columbia team, as somebody to watch out for on the offensive side of the ball. For Columbia, who would you look for in a game like this for PCS on the offensive side, Drew?
Definitely Lee Sigers. I mean, you could kind of mention the whole running back core that we have, but Lee is very, very, very good at what he does. He's been kind of the workhorse for the Bobcat offense so far, and that's not taking anything away from Fade Island. He's of course gotten a lot of yards already in 2 games, probably up. I think if I kept tally right, somewhere close to 150 to 200 yards already in 2 games. So that's nothing to look over, but. Lee, I think he's got about 4 touchdowns in 2 games, and he's really been the workhorse for the Bobcat offense so far. So it'll be interesting to watch him. And like I mentioned a minute ago, he's going to have to take care of the football.
As you mentioned, Fairley on the offensive side, but I'll tell you what, on the defensive side, he can pull his weight too. Also, Cody McGee, a big defensive lineman. You're going to have to get blocked for sure. Make sure you know where he is. We kicked off college football last night with South Carolina and Vandy, and you saw Jadavian Clowney was all over the field. You got to get 2 hats on him, and that's kind of the way you got to approach Cody McGee here. You got to make sure that you've got 2 guys near him and hands on him at all times. And the key for the PCS defense is going to be that interior line. This game is going to be a ground and pound. If you look tonight, you can see water standing everywhere. We're dealing with, rains of record numbers. But the interior line, that's Alan Winford, Tanner McGowan, Michael Cooper, and Tyler Henderson. Those guys are going to be very, very key. If they can get a push up front, that could set up PCS for success on the defensive side. Earlier today, PCS student reporter Patrick McGee had a chance to visit with head coach Joey Hawkins. And right now we're going to take a listen to Patrick and Coach Hawkins' conversation.
I'm with PCS head football coach Joey Hawkins. Coach, thank you for your time. I'm going to ask you some questions about this week's game. Good win last week against Simpson. What did you see out of your team that will help you going forward?
Well, Simpson's always a physical team. They went undefeated and won the state championship last year, so it was a big win for us. I thought we matched their intensity, and I thought we made some really good plays on offense to get us going, and we took a 15-0 lead at halftime and was able to hang on.
Again, this week you travel on the road playing a neighboring AA school. Tell us the importance of winning on the road.
Well, Columbia and PCS used to be the biggest rivalry until we moved up to 3A classification. The last few years we've got the best of them. Before then, they beat us a lot when we first started. So it's a big game for us. This is a much improved Columbia team. They're a lot better than they've been the last 3 or 4 years. So we got our work cut out for us, and we'll have to play well tonight.
Columbia is 2-0 this year. How does this team stack up to other schools in AA?
Well, this is my 4th year here at PCS, Patrick, and this is the best Columbia team by far. They picked up a couple of really nice players, a big fullback who can just get 3 or 4 about any time he wants. We're going to do a good job of swarming him and tackling him. Their quarterback is very accurate, and the offensive and defensive line has got so much better. So it's going to be a great ball game tonight.
Columbia got 10-plus inches of rain from Tropical Storm Isaac. What impact will that have on tonight's game?
Well, we sure don't like it because we got a lot of speed, and we wish we were on a dry track where we could really make some big plays. But it's going to be mighty sloppy. Columbia's field, they got a nice field, but it holds water. It will be super muddy. In fact, I've tried to tell the kids it's going to be some real adverse conditions tonight, but that's part of football, and you got to play in those elements, and we're looking forward to it, but we got to really take care of the football.
PCS will win tonight if?
Well, just what I said. We got to take care of the football, and when we do break the line of scrimmage, it's going to be so muddy, we got to make some big plays. Our speed is one of our biggest, weapons, and we've got to do a good job. Once we get in the secondary, we've got to take it all the way home.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Patrick, thank you.
That was student reporter Patrick McGee, and Patrick did a great job there interviewing Coach Hawkins, and we'll elude some of those answers that Coach was talking about. First things first, Drew, you heard Patrick mention it in the interview. We wouldn't be doing our job tonight if we didn't talk about these field conditions. We were down on the field earlier just getting a feel for how wet this turf is going to be and what it's going to be to deal with as we deal with the remnants of Tropical Storm Isaac. What did you see down there, Drew?
Looks like a mud pit, but, it's really not any different than what we've had to deal with the past 2 weeks. And so we ought to have plenty of experience of dealing with wet field conditions. And, it's going to, like I said, it's probably going to have some sort of effect on the ball game.
We're going to step aside and take a break just a moment as we are having our invocation, soon to be followed by our national anthem. So just hold with us just a minute. We'll be right back to bring you some football tonight. We're back here as our national anthem is over. We are about, the captains are getting ready to meet. We're getting close to kickoff here. And just before we went away for the national anthem as Columbia is taking the field, Drew, you were talking about the field conditions. Go ahead and finish your thoughts on that and just how these field conditions weigh in as far as advantage, disadvantage for each team.
Well, Coach Hawkins mentioned in that brief interview there with Patrick, we have a lot of team speed. We really do. It's probably the fastest team that we've had, and really probably ever as a football program. And that's just a testament to what Coach Hawkins does in his strength and conditioning program. But for a team with a lot of speed, it's really not. It's really kind of a disadvantage to you. You try to make a cut up and go up the field real quick, and you lose your footing. We've seen that 2 weeks in a row. Saw it in Hattiesburg against JA. Anytime we tried to cut and turn it upfield, try to take advantage of our speed, we slipped. And it didn't happen every time, but it's not going to happen every time tonight either. But it does happen, and but that's one thing that we'll have to be on the lookout for, especially tonight. Even with the rain that we had last week in Simpson and the week before that in Hattiesburg PCS, we didn't have this much rain. I mean, that's true. I mean, we've had about a foot of rain here, anywhere from Columbia to Hattiesburg in the past couple of days. So it's going to be even worse than we've been on before. And we got to pray and kind of hope that we can limit injuries. Injuries that do occur a little more with a slick field. And, if we come out of this game with a win and injuryless, that'll be the most ideal thing that we could have. So, main thing is going to be taking care of the football and who can make the less mistakes with less than ideal conditions.
You mentioned it earlier, or as far as taking care of the football, and you heard Coach Hawkins talk about this. You also mentioned injuries, as you see, or you will not see, Micah Griffin or Troy Waits. We talked last week with Coach Hawkins about that, and they are targeting next week for those players to be back on the field for the Bobcats. And I'm gonna go right ahead here, and I'm gonna go in and just get kind of a late plug here for our players to watch. I got a sneaky feeling we're going to see a breakout game from Hunter Norton tonight. Hunter hadn't played very well up to this point, but I've got a good feeling about old number 9 tonight, and we'll see what kind of game he can have. We'll meet our starters in just a moment when they take the field. But it looks like Columbia, dressed in their all-blue home uniforms, white numerals, orange hats with the script. Look like the Florida Gators out there. I hope we don't see Tim Tebow tonight. And 9 Norton, 22 Fate Island, the speedster, back at the goal line waiting. And this kicker's got a boot, ladies and gentlemen. Logan Cook is one of the top kickers in the country in his class. This will be Norton from the near side. He'll go up the middle, breaking. He's got a little room. He's cutting it back near midfield. And as he's brought down by number 7, that's Alex Price, water splashes everywhere. And we have begun. Nice return there from Hunter.
Well, your sneaking suspicion, I don't know, did you kind of see into the future a little bit? That was a good return. And
it's kind of a math thing. You can't keep a good man down. He's just too good of a player to have 3 straight bad performances. So we'll get the starters after this. We'll go I formation with Allen and Sigrist. Split receivers to the near side. This will be a counter play to you. Right it met quickly by number 40, Cordell Rainey, as well as Bobby Cotrere. And that will give us a chance to meet your Bobcat starters. There they are, same as they've been all year. We've got Addison and Young as our flankers. Patterson anchoring at quarterback. And that up front tandem we've had featured all year long. So a loss of 3 on the play will bring up second. And about 12. This is Island again, I believe. Good run over the left side this time. He'll be up near midfield. near first down yardage. So good run there for Island.
Yeah, Columbia kind of clogged the middle a little bit on that first run, so like we just tried to get them to the outside, a little toss play, and ended up working for us. About 10 yards, got it right back, and a good manageable third down position here.
We'll go split backs this time. 3rd and 3, receiver to each side. That's Sigris. He's got the first down, spinning his way. Columbia ripping at that football as they're near the 40-yard line there. That'll be enough for a first down. And we saw last week as the game was getting close and Simpson was desperate for a turnover, they tried to rip that ball out, and Sigris was able to rip the ball or keep the ball and rip off a long gain. So a 1st and 10, we'll go almost a Twins under center. We fake it to Norton. Patterson's hit immediately, and there's that man Fairley.
Fairley, like he came off unblocked. Nobody even picked him up, and that's the worst type of sack for a quarterback. That's your blind side, and Patterson was not anywhere close to being ready for that. It's really fortunate that he managed to hold on to the football.
Absolutely. As a lineman, you're begging for a timeout not to come out anytime soon because you're going to get an earful. Go back to the I formation. Receiver to each side of the field. Young to the near side. Patterson, sprint draw to Island. Gets the rush upfield, bouncing. He's into positive yardage, chased down from behind near the original line of scrimmage by Garrett McGee. He's playing both sides of the football. He's the starting quarterback as well as the outside linebacker. So we'll call it 3rd and 9, just inside 10 yards. This ball is just outside the Columbia 40-yard line. We'll go Twins to the near side, I formation. Pull trap, and that play is blown up immediately. 3 Cougars in the backfield. And we talked about it up front. The up front push is going to be key here. So a big loss there. Sets up a 4th down. And again, with Troy Waits out, we're seeing Fate Island's been handling some punt duties, but this time it'll be the freshman Luke Logan dropping back on a 4th and 14. Back for Columbia is number 80, I believe. No, it's not 80. 20, John Miles McNeese. Logan gets off a pretty good punt. And it's brought in at 15 and immediately tackled by several Bobcats. Jonathan Burks, the first one there. So you don't get any points on the board, but Columbia starts in tough field position.
The return man, McNeese, there kind of paid for staying in there and catching the ball, but it helped because if he let it go, it might have bounced down inside the 5 there. So kind of a well-earned, just fair catch there, and Columbia starts in decent field position.
We'll see twin receivers stacked all the way near the sideline here. And we'll do this little no huddle. This could be a long night. We'll go 2 receivers stacked all the way at each sideline. Shotgun for McGee with Fairley. We'll go spread. He'll give to Fairley up the middle, and he is met nothing much there. I don't think he got anything on that play. Call it 2nd and 10. Winford was the first one there. You got to think the goal of this little scheme here, they're going to put 4 guys way out away from the play, making sure you cover them. Then they're going to take Fairley and McGee and run this 2-man option here. So a little Tebow-esque flair here. They'll give to Fairley far side, trying to get the edge. He stiff arms, runs over Broadhead, dragging defenders up near about the 20-yard line. He'll be, or 25, I should say. Columbia doesn't have yard markers on the field. They've got them on the fences around the field. And, of course, the benches are in the way and you can't really see. So it'll be a 1st and 10 after that run by Fairley. Powerful run there.
You can see already he's going to be kind of a load to handle.
Well, he's new to this team. He just came in here from Purvis High School, so we'll see. And they're definitely giving him his share. He gets a break here as checking in will be Will Rayburn. Shotgun again for McGee with Rayburn off his left shoulder. He'll give to Rayburn, right side. Harvey brings him down. Gain of about 5 on the play. 2nd and 5 for the Cougars. And apparently we've got some scoreboard problems. I'm wondering if the Storms had anything to do with it. All we can see is a play clock. We have no idea how much time is left. Scoreboard is blank, and we'll try to get a shot of that. But we have no idea about a time, so we're just in the dark as you are at home. 2nd and just over 5 yards. Rayburn will stay in. Twin receivers each side, shotgun. McGee will keep. Trying to find a hole right side. He's got a little room to the edge. Jones hits him and brings him down, but it'll be enough for a first down for Columbia Academy. And this little option read is serving the Cougars very well.
You can already tell Columbia is about 100 times better than they were last year. And it's going to be a very good ball game here. If they can keep running the ball like this, it's going to be a quick game because both teams look like they want to run the football, and that's understandable being such a wet field. But we're going to have to do a little better at stopping the run.
And for some reason, we've got a delay going on, and Coach Kinney is going to take a timeout here. I was wondering why Coach was all the way out near the hash marks. Apparently, he was going to let the play clock run all the way down and take a timeout, and that's exactly what he did. Well, we'll take this first break here as an opportunity to thank a couple of our sponsors that have helped us out to get to this point. First and foremost, our new production company, Play On Sports, providing you all the new graphics and overlays as well as many, many other things that sponsorship opportunities and things going along. We have a contract with YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, we thank you. I invite you back here. You can catch Bobcat football and many other PCS events and activities all year long on the Play On High School Sports Network. The PCS Booster Club, of course. All the athletic events you see streamed live here via the Play On Sports Network would not be possible without the unselfish help of the PCS Booster Club. And finally, the Paw Print, outfitting Bobcat fans all year round, so don't be afraid to wear your black and blue all year through. We're back from timeout, and Columbia has it 1st and 10 near midfield. Fumbled snap, ball's on the ground. Bobcats have it. Justin Giroux is all over that one. There's our first turnover of the contest.
Well, that's going to be something that's going to happen all night, I would imagine. And that was just a clean snap. I'm not really sure if McGee wasn't expecting the snap at that time, or if he just simply lost it from being wet. And but nonetheless, it's a break for us as Columbia had quite the momentum started on that drive because we really never even stopped them running the football. They were getting about 10 yards a carry, and so that's a big break for us, and we're going to have to get the momentum back and put the ball in the end zone right here.
You're exactly right, and it's an official's timeout for water, so apparently we're halfway through the first quarter. And we didn't have a chance earlier, but on your screen there you see the starting lineup for your Bobcat defense. And the left side there is where I'm going to call your attention to. You see the defensive ends, tackles, and those were the guys we pointed out. And Giroux, the one man we left off, gets the first turnover, recovers the fumble. And PCS is in business at the Columbia 42-yard line. So just about where the play delayed or drive stopped last time, they take over. This is Sigrist trying to inch his way forward, pushing the pile. Gets about 4 before he's pushed backwards.
Well, looked like we may have made a little bit of adjustment there on offense. We didn't go with such a delayed handoff because Columbia they were sitting the house and getting in the backfield. We had a play of -6, -3, -5 last drive, and we just maybe tried a little more of a quick hit, got 4 yards.
I'll tell you, the strength of this Columbia team is their defensive line. If there's one thing that they hang their hat on, it's Allen on the pitch running right, trying to bounce outside, and he stumbles down short, about a yard short of the markers. So it'll be about 3rd and short for the Bobcats. But as I was saying, This Columbia defense up front is strong. They're fast. They're physical. That's their calling card. Is that defensive line, as you've seen here early, they can shoot gaps. They can bull rush. This is a very, very strong.
They're very big
defense
too.
up front.
I'm impressed with their size. They're a big team.
And those big guys up front free up Chandler Fairley, to get in the backfield as we'll go I formation. Rand Henderson and Tyler Young. A little confusion. Have to hustle to get the play off as we're under 3, 2, and 1. Counter delay, left side. Allen got a little room. First down and more. Trying to get to the edge. One man to beat. He's inside the 10, the 5. Dives.
He did go out, just barely.
Good effort there from Allen, though.
Good call by the official. I was watching the pylon, and Fate dove, and he was actually on the other side of the pylon. So that was a good attempt there and a very, very good run. About 40 on the play.
So on a third and short, third and about 1.5 yards, Allen breaks a long one into the deep into the red zone, and they'll have it. First opportunity in the red zone, just outside the 1 yard line, first and goal. And we'll see that power eye, Sygrist, and we'll see a fresh white jersey. That's Andrew Burks, the second fullback. They'll give to Burks. Well, the ball's loose in the end zone, and PCS is on it.
No.
I thought the Bobcats fell on it. Unfortunately, Logan Cook was there. Cook outfought McGowan for the football, and so another turnover on the doorstep. That's a heartbreaker there.
Well, I mentioned it a minute ago. It's going to happen. It's going to be whatever team can come back from it and not let it get them down, because it's going to happen all night, and that's a tough break there, right there on the goal line, and that one goes through Burks' hands there. So that's a momentum shift for Columbia.
Definitely momentum shift. So the turnover count is evened at 1 apiece. As I don't know if that was a bobbled snap or a mishandle, a botched handoff to Burks. I can't imagine going to Burks right there at his first snap in the ball game. But nevertheless, ball belongs to Columbia. McGee and Fairley. McGee traveling right. He'll be corralled and stopped. Giroux and Cooper combine on the stop. No gain on the play. Little quarterback keeper around the right side. Cooper was able to sniff that one out and get there first.
That's kind of a wrinkle that Columbia likes to throw in the running game with the quarterback keeping it or handing it off. So you're going to have to watch Garrett McGee for running the ball as well.
Absolutely. This one he bobbles again and tries to get back to the line of scrimmage before Giroux and Allen Winford tackle him for a loss on the play.
Well, I don't know about you, but I see an ugly ball game.
Well, that's what you expect. I mean, an ugly field, an ugly ball game. Well, I say an ugly field. It's wet, it's muddy. I mean, it's in all intents and purposes in good shape. As you do see water standing around, but lines are painted well. I got the Cougar paw at center on the 50-yard line. It looks great. Just it's a sloppy track, slow track. So 3rd and 12. They'll go tight bunch formation this time. McGee looking to pass. Got a free rusher. That's Parrish, but he steps up in the pocket, and Winford will bring him down for a big loss. Big sack there.
Loss of 10 on the play there. That's a big, big tackle for Allen. And so far, that's 2 tackles in the backfield, tackles for loss for Allen. So Columbia is having some trouble with him early on.
Well, he had a free rusher that time. He had a blitzing linebacker, Will Parrish, forced McGee to step up right into the big mitts of Allen Winford. So 4th and we'll call it 22. And Logan Cook waiting 5 yards deep in his own end zone. And Fate Allen is near midfield. And I tell you, Logan can boom it. You don't want to take him for granted. They'll bring a rusher, try to get to him. He almost does. Oh, and we'll have a roughing the kicker penalty coming. Tyler Young broke free, went up to try to dodge him, and unfortunately runs into the plant leg of Logan Cook. Personal foul, roughing the kicker.
Well, that's a big risk when you do that. If you don't absolutely think you can get the ball, don't go for it, because Tyler definitely smoked the punter there, and that's a big penalty. And we got to give the ball back to Columbia again. To me, that's the equivalent of a turnover. And
Exactly.
So I mean, Columbia's got the ball right back when we should have the ball in their territory.
So it'll be 1st and 10 again at the 25. So that whole first series, we'll throw it out the window, advance the ball 5 yards, do it all over again. Especially you don't want to see that in the end zone. That's just tough. I mean, you want to make a game-breaking play. You want to get momentum on your side. As we'll have Chandler Fairley and Garrett McGee in the backfield. Twin receivers to each side in the slot. Shotgun. Snap. McGee will keep it up the middle, trying to find a crease. Winford is able to get a hand on him and drag him down, but not before a gain of 5 on the play.
McGee will pick up 3rd on the play, 2nd down, 6 yards to go for Columbia. 1.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
We'll call it 2nd and 5. The ball resting just shy of the 30. For the Cougars.
And you probably can't see it on your screen at home. Maybe you can, but I tell you, the jerseys are already just solid mud.
You may have to adopt a team color. This is Rayburn cutting back, and he'll be short of the 1st down. But a good run there from Will Rayburn. Yeah, we may have to adopt the unofficial color of brown tonight as a team color, because our white uniforms are not going to be white after this game is over. 3rd and 2 for Columbia here. I would imagine we're approaching the end, somewhere coming near of the first quarter of play. McGee and Rayburn in the backfield. McGee keeps it right side. He's got the 1st down, trying to break free. But Jones, and I believe that's Giroux, chased him down from behind. So that'll move the chains for Columbia.
Well, it's, one thing I didn't mention earlier, but, you can't really, you can't make arm tackles anyway normally. Those are normally hard to make anyway, but especially when everybody is just soaked from head to toe in mud and water, it's even tougher to make arm tackles. And Garrett McGee, the quarterback there, he escaped 2 or 3 tackles and was able to get the 1st down.
And that'll be the end of the first quarter of play. So Coach Kenny Williams has this team fired up as we end the first quarter, tied at 0. We'll take a short break, catch our breath, be back for the second quarter of action. And we're about set for the second quarter here in Columbia. Our score is 0-0 as PCS enters this game with a 1-1 mark, taking on their second road foe, Columbia, second AA foe in Columbia. Columbia 2-0 after playing single A Prentice Christian and I believe was 2A or 3A Salem High School from the public school round. Counter fullback Trey, that is Fairley. He's met by Winford. And the pile is pushed forward by a couple of his linemen. gain of about 2, maybe 3. We'll call it 2nd and 7. That time they brought in a second fullback, Cordell Rainey. Sent him in motion, tried a little fullback power there with Fairley. So far, we've seen nothing but shotgun from Columbia, and I wouldn't expect anything else. But you've already seen 2 bot snaps so far, so it's especially in conditions like this, it's tough. And timeout, Columbia. That'll be their second charge timeout.
Well, looks like Columbia's having a little bit of trouble getting set on offense. Not sure if they're trying something new and they're maybe struggling a little bit. I feel like there was an injury there, too. The offensive lineman had to come out kind of late in the play clock, and that may have been the case there. But they've already burned 2 timeouts, I believe.
Yeah, they have. They burned one in the first quarter, and then this was the second one of the half. But, yeah, just like you said, one of the linemen came limping off late with an ankle injury. It's they couldn't get someone in there and get the play signal in time and had to burn a second timeout. Ball rests at the Columbia 43-yard line here in the second quarter. Again, we have no game clock. Have to figure that the Storms had a hand in that. We had some trouble with that this past baseball season at PCS. We had a lightning strike to take out the scoreboard, so it's always frustrating. But the officials have it all.
Yeah, it seems like it never goes out until you need to use it.
That's exactly right. Well, you don't ever think to check it. You just take it for granted, I tell you what. So, after the timeout, Columbia has it 2nd and 8. Fairley is in the backfield. They also bring in the second fullback, Rainey, who will be flanked off the right tackle.
Looks like a false start. So, Columbia comes out of a timeout and begins with a false start. So, and Nathan's going to step away for a minute, so I'll do play-by-play. Have a little technical difficulty. Handoff is to Fairley, and he's bullying through. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage and then some. About a 7-yard gain right up the middle for Fairley. And Nathan's back. I'll hand it back over to him for play-by-play.
Apologize for that. We had a little video. Had some technical issues, we'll call it. So 3rd and 8 for Columbia. They were in this kind of, I call it delayed no huddle. They don't huddle. They just stand on the field. Same formation just about every time. They'll go twin backs this time with Rainey and Rayburn. And was that a false start? We got flags down. Looked like one of the Columbia receivers got a head running start there. We had a flag come in from the far side line judge.
I believe you're right.
But if a Columbia receiver got a head start, they should have blown the play dead. So I don't know what. We'll see what the signal will be. It'll be false start on Columbia. Play is no good. So we'll back it up 5 yards.
Of course, if it's a legal motion or legal shift, something like that, they usually don't blow the play dead instantly. So, but that was the first pass attempt of the game there for either team. And you saw McGee.
McGee dropped back earlier for a pass that was sacked, but that was the first one he's actually thrown.
Yeah.
And it was high and incomplete, but it didn't count. We have 3rd and 13 now, so good hold there by the PCS defense so far. Got to be careful here not to let someone slip free. They'll fake it, looking to throw. Is McGee across the middle, into coverage, over the head of his intended receiver, John Miles McNeese, and incomplete. We'll bring 4th and 13 up for Columbia.
Well, I'm interested. I guess they ended up blowing the play dead because we didn't have the opportunity to decline the penalty. So I guess they said it was automatic delay a dead ball, and we didn't have the opportunity to decline it. So we had to play that 3rd down over again anyway.
So Cook waits for the punt at his own 25-yard line. Last time he was roughed. Good snap back. No rush this time. Cook gets off a good high hanging spiral. Fair catch called for by Island at about the 26-yard line, and that's where PCS will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 26 on the near hash. So we're still at all zeros. Been kind of a back and forth grinder here, as just as you would expect after a foot of rain falls over a period of 3 days. So trying to do our best to identify player numbers, but if we don't get one to you, it's because we can't see it for PCS. Sigers will dot the I behind Burks. We'll go 3 tight ends here. Big power look. Patterson will give to Sigers. Cutting back. He's got one man to beat. Down the sideline. Trying to outrun his man is Cook. Able to get outside the block and push out Sigers, but not before he crosses into Cougar territory. Knocked down at the Columbia 42-yard line.
Gain of about 33 there for Sigers. So far, Fate has a 40-yard gain and Lee has a 33-yard gain, but no show for it. So we're going to have but that goes back to turnovers, as we mentioned even before the game. So hold on to the football. It looks like we'll be able to move the ball fine.
You go 3 tight ends again. Island and Sigers will go in as Burks will check out. Patterson under center. He'll give to Island. Face mask. He was brought down by the face mask. And I don't see any yellow on the field. Wow, okay. So we'll call it a gain of 2.
Now, the only thing I can figure is he grabbed him up around the shoulder pad,
okay,
close to the neck. So
I'm the farthest away from the field of anybody, so I will make the mistake. That was probably my bad on the site. So, but it's 2nd and 8. They'll go twin receivers, Addison and Young near side. Offset I with Sigers and Island. Patterson, fake the toss, give to Sigers, cutting back, got the 1st down yardage, plows over one defender, but he can't break free as Will Rayburn chased him down from behind. That'll move the chains, and PCS is knocking on the door of the red zone again. See if they can convert it this time, and we'll have a timeout. I'm guessing this will be an official's timeout. I didn't see an indication on either side, so I'm guessing this will be an official's timeout for water. As again, it is hot and muggy here in Columbia.
Well, you got an extra foot of water in the ground. You know, it's gonna
gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, and it's gonna come right back up out of it, I guess, because not really. As you can see it, it's just standing everywhere, so it just kind of enhances the humidity quite a bit. And you know, I was mentioning before the game, it's probably one of the most humid days I've felt in a while.
Absolutely, and it's very, very reminiscent of the game 2 years ago when PCS came over here, and it was so humid, just like that. So we'll come out of the timeout, 1st and 10 Bobcats. They'll go I formation with Sigers and Island. Young in the slot, Addison split out far to the right side. Tight end to the left is Morgan. Rolling out, looking is Patterson. He's got a man in the end zone. He checks it underneath. Robbie Morgan almost makes the one-handed catch. Patterson had, I believe that was Young. Young had broken free on the wheel down at the end zone, but I think Patterson thought better of it, and that the wet ball, you don't want to turn it over there, so he checked it down, and Morgan almost was able to come down with a great one-handed catch.
Yeah, it looked like Young was wide open on the wheel route in the end zone, and maybe just too many people between Daniel and Young for Daniel to see him open.
Sigers will get a break as Burks checks in at fullback. Under 6 on the play clock. Gives to Island up the middle. Cutting, leaping. He'll be near the 1st down sticks. I think he's about half a yard short. Good run there by Island. That was all vision to cut back and find the gaps.
I'd love to see this running back group with a dry field.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can tell it's really affecting them. And it's affecting Columbia. I'm not saying it's not. But I would just like to see Ireland with his cutbacks and Lee with his cutbacks. I just believe they could do so much more.
3rd and 1. We'll go 3 tight ends. With Sigers at fullback, Island and PCS jumped. Had several Bobcats right there start to lean forward. So that'll be a false start. And an advantageous 3rd down play, or yardage, I should say, will be 3rd and 6 now.
Well, it's all right. I mean, you don't want to commit that penalty, but it's most likely 2-down territory anyway, 4-down territory anyway. So, you got 2 plays to get 6 yards.
Absolutely. Well, if you were looking at this game back in the summer coming in, you would expect to be a showdown of kickers. And we'll get to that. Toss to Island, fakes the reverse. He's got wide open terrain in front. Inside the 5, he'll go into the end zone untouched for the touchdown. Fate Island.
Oh, that was a beautiful play. Kind of took a play out of J.A.'s playbook, to be honest. And we faked that reverse, and Columbia bid on it. They were going to go with the reverse man, and Island said, "I'm just going to keep it," and he basically walked into the end zone.
Absolutely. Well, I mentioned kickers. You'll see John Woods coming on. We've talked about he's the backup kicker for PCS, and we talked about how highly rated that Logan Cook is, but this was going to be a showdown between 2 of the premier kickers in the Southeast, as Woods has done a yeoman's effort in fill-in work, and that no good. Wide right. Looked good from here, but again, I'm the farthest person away from the action. So our score will remain 6-0. And we talked about those kickers, both underclassmen, both juniors, Troy Waits and Logan Cook. I believe these are nationally ranked kickers. I think Waits has been ranked about around the 14 mark and Cook the 22, 25 mark, somewhere in there. And for their class, and that's nationally, and that's just, you don't see that a lot in private school ball, and definitely not down in the Southeast here. This has been you should see that from some of the powerhouses. And if you talk about Oak Grove's kicker, that's 3 kickers down here in this area that are very, very highly rated and respected kickers. So Woods will set up to tee this one up to kick it deep. Back deep is 20. That is John Miles McNeese. And 32, Will Rayburn. And Rayburn, the senior, has been a 3-year starter for this club. And 3 years ago, PCS got up big, but Rayburn ripped off 40-yard gain after 40-yard gain late in that contest. Woods will send this one inside the 5. Retreating to his 1 is McNeese coming up near side. Brought down by number 10 for PCS. That is Robert Upton. At about the 20, near the 25, I want to say. It's going to be tough to spot. We'll see what we have, but it'll be 1st and 10 Columbia, trailing 6-0 in the second quarter. Just across the 20th and 22, we'll call it.
Well, if you're PCS, you're in the position you want to be in. You score right before the half. I would imagine there's 3 or 4 minutes left, if that. So you get Columbia to go 3 and out here, you've got a chance to put the ball in the end zone one more time, or at least get it within field goal range if you want to risk the chance of taking a field goal with these conditions.
McGee will give to Fairley, left side, pushing his way forward. I tell you what, it's tough. They get in there, that pile of big men. It's just tough to spot and see who's got the ball and where they are. Gain of about 4 on the play.
Fairley is definitely living up to his hype, so to speak. He's quite the load to bring down. And,
absolutely.
It's hard to just tackle him with one guy. And that's about the 3rd running back in a row that we've played against that's just been very, very good.
You just got to send white shirts at him. Bobbled snap again. McGee trying to bring it in. He'll just have to fall on it back near the original line of scrimmage. That's the 3rd bobbled snap by Garrett McGee tonight.
That'll be about a loss of 8 there, so that's a big big loss there for Columbia. And so far, the wet conditions are having an effect on Columbia the most. So
it's going to have an effect on everybody before this night is over with.
Oh, definitely. But
3rd and 13.
As far as bobbled snaps and fumbles, they seem to be having the most trouble so far.
Fairly off the right shoulder of McGee in the shotgun. They'll fake it, looking to throw far side, heaving it up right into the hands of Stephen Jones waiting. And, I don't know. I can't speak to this as Stephen Jones was kind of gathering ahead of steam there, but number 11, the intended receiver, Tanner Stewart, got a finger on a shoelace to Stephen Jones before he could mount a return. And that'll be first down PCS, and that's the second turnover for Columbia on the night.
Well, that's a big turnover for PCS there. And
definitely for PCS.
Well, in our favor, put it that way. But, we've got the ball at the 35-yard line. Like you, I wish we knew how much time was left.
Absolutely.
But, I've got to imagine it's about 2 or 3 minutes. Next half, I'll do a better job. I might just keep the time on my phone, and I'll be able to give you a better idea of how much time's left. But, 35-yard line, I think we have 2 timeouts left.
Absolutely, 2 timeouts.
So, plenty of time to get the ball within field goal range if Coach Hawkins wants to attempt a field goal with that. We don't have Troy Waits, as we said, but John Woods has been doing a pretty good job kicking the football.
And I tell you, don't count out Luke Logan. Luke Logan's got a good, strong leg. And Coach mentioned it last week. Well, hey, we may let him try a long field goal. Who knows? But I tell you, the way Sigers carried the ball in that last possession, I don't. They're not thinking field goal here. They're thinking 6 points and nothing else. Touchdown or bust. They'll go Twins to the far side. Jones flanked off the left tackle. He'll go in motion. They'll give to Sigers right side, cutting back up near the 25 or the 30, I'll say. So a gain of about 5 on the play. Right at 5.5 yards on the gain. At the 30. Patterson will break huddle. Rand Henderson will go to the far side. In the slot will be Tyler Young. Offset I. Pitch to Island. Trying to get to the outside. One man grabs his ankle there. That was 57. Bobby Cottrell.
That was the definition of ankle tackle because he had him by the ankle. And if he breaks that tackle, he's gone. Because that was the only person I saw between Fate and the end zone.
So that'll be 3rd and 4 now. Call it a gain of 1 on the play. Here late in the second quarter. I formation, Twins near side. And false start on PCS. A couple of lines. I tell you what, we don't just jump one man off sides. PCS jumps 2 or 3 every time if they go.
Some kind of miscommunication issue there for multiple linemen to jump off sides.
So back it up 5. We'll make it 3rd and 9 for the Bobcats. Same formation. Sigris dots the I. Excuse me, that's Island, I'm sorry. Addison and Young near side. They'll give to Island. Breaking into the secondary, dragging a man.
Wow.
I thought he was down right at the
run.
stick, but he breaks free. I tell you what, he hit that hole that had a steam.
And he got about 20 yards with people just hanging on to him. So that's quite the bit of power for us back like Fate. And that was a very impressive run. And I got to figure time's got to be getting close here in the end of the first half.
We'll go 3 backs here with Norton in. They'll give to Norton, sweeping right side. Got a little yardage out in front. Trying to get to the pylon. He'll cut it back inside the 5, just shy. Down inside the 5-yard line. We'll set up a 1st and goal. So Hunter Norton hadn't had many touches, but he's making the most out of each one he gets.
Looks like about the 3 yard line, I would say. It's hard to tell from this far over.
We'll see Burks check in at fullback. Island in the I formation. Go 2 tight ends. Power I. Burks and Sigrist in front of Island. They'll give to Sigrist. Left side. In the end zone. He walks. Touchdown, PCS.
Ireland made that look just as easy as it could be. And just kind of the hand. Sigrist went to the fullback position there and just walked in. As I'm not really sure Columbia was expecting that. And look, because there was really, like I said, nobody over there. He just walked in. And but kind of surprising that you wouldn't expect Sigrist to get the ball in that situation, as that's who we've gone to every time.
So Coach Hawkins elects to go for 2 here. They'll go in the power I set with the second fullback, Burks, to the left. Toss to Island, trying to get to the corner. He's got room, cutting back, and he walks into the end zone untouched for the 2-point conversion. So with that deuce, PCS takes a 14-0 lead. And we'll take the opportunity here. I want to thank, again, our sponsors, the Paw Print. Be sure to go by and visit the Paw Print store for all your Bobcat merchandise. The next time you come out to Bobcat Stadium for a home football game, just stop by the corner of the concession stand beside the home stands. Look for the Paw Print sign. They now accept most major credit cards, so be sure to check them out and show off your black and blue all year round. As well as the PCS Booster Club. So 14-0 here, very late in the second quarter, as John Woods is set to kick this one away. This one end over end will be a short kick fielded by Rayburn at his own 7-yard line. And a gang of Bobcats will wrestle him down at the 24, 25-yard line. Again, we have no clue how much time is left, or we'd let you know.
Well, it would appear, you would assume that it's got to be close. And, we've done what we needed to do, get ahead 2 scores here going into half. And barring some big play, I would imagine that this will be the last drive for the game, for the half.
Just got an update. We're just under 4 minutes left in the second quarter.
Oh, well, that's more than I thought.
And I'm guessing that's fairly in that massive pile up there. It is. So a negligible gain. Call it a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Cougars. Shotgun again. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Fairley off the left shoulder of McGee. Give to Fairley. Up the middle. Spinning his way forward and drops. And officials are blowing it a timeout, PCS.
Gain of about a yard there. So it really looks like we've done either some sort of adjustment, or we're just doing a better job of, with our assignments on defense. Fairley hasn't had much success. And, you mentioned a few minutes ago, or before the game, that Fairley was a new addition to the Columbia roster. You got to wonder, is Fairley, how much conditioning and how much stuff like that has he been through? Did he do a bunch before he got here? Did he not?
Well, he's been here he's been here since the summer. He's been here all season long.
Then he's been through the whole, 2-day work, regime. So, but I was just kind of wondering, he's kind of slacked off as we've headed into the second quarter.
Well, when you start somebody at middle linebacker and you give him 20, 30 carries a game, it'll get to anybody as far as conditioning goes, and especially a night like tonight with this humidity.
Yeah, and that's probably what the case is, and because he had a lot more speed and a lot more, just power to start the game, and it's kind of slacked off here in the second quarter.
So 3rd and 7, about 3 minutes remaining. They'll give to Fairley again up the middle. This time he gets past the first line.
And that was a better run there for Fairleigh.
And I believe our camera went out, and I believe it's a first down. Fairleigh gets just across the line of scrimmage. Well, he's very close to it. Yeah, they won't measure it. It'll be 1st and 10.
And that was the kind of run that I was expecting more of from Fairleigh, and he kind of responded there and just kind of dragged 3 to 4 defenders along with him.
Shotgun. Low snap. McGee will keep it again. This time he's able to spin free and bounce forward. And he'll have enough for a Columbia first down. Well, I'll tell you, that was like a broken play. And then PCS was unable to wrap him up, the first couple of guys that got there. And so as we approach 2.5 to play, it'll be first down just shy of midfield for Columbia.
Seems like a lot of those broken plays can end up being big gainers because it's kind of, I guess, breaks the defense's concentration a little bit. And I really don't know what happens there, but he had a wide open lane up the middle.
Give this to Rayburn. Still leaning forward. And he'll get about 2. Set up 2nd, and we'll call it 8 for Columbia. We're at 2.5-minute mark.
Well, we've got to be careful about not relaxing here and letting Columbia get in the end zone before the half. We need 2 big stops in a row here on 2nd and 3rd down.
Rayburn in the backfield with McGee. Twins receiver each side of the shotgun formation. McGee will keep and fall forward for he'll be spotted back at the line of scrimmage, so no gain. He went down and crawled forward a little bit, so they'll call it no gain on the play. 3rd and 8.
Big play right here. Got to get the ball back, not necessarily just to put the ball in the end zone, but just to keep Columbia from getting any momentum heading into the half.
He'll give to Rayburn.
Good play.
That's Robbie Morgan, the first one there. He doesn't get the tackle, but he slows up Rayburn and allows his teammates, Matthew Stevens, Tyler Henderson, and big 67, Zach Buffkin, to get there. And Zach's had a torn ligament in his foot and been in a boot for about 2 weeks, but it's good to see old Zach back out there. And he'll give some much-needed rest to those interior defensive linemen as Zach stands.
Well, if I'm Steven returning this punt here, I don't make any return that I have to stretch my arms out too much and kind of risk a fumble down deep.
Cook's punt. There's a wobbly kick. Will land about the 20 and roll. That's a good punt there from Cook and a good decision from Jones. Roll down at the 11. I talked about big Zach Buffkin. It's good to have him back in that offensive defensive line. And he's just 6'4", 275 as a sophomore. So, that's always good to have.
Oh, yeah. Anytime you got anybody that big to help you out, you'll take them. And, we've got more depth really than we've ever had. And that we keep gaining depth, but, not quite enough to where you would be okay with missing a guy that's that big. And anytime you can have him, you want him.
So 1st and 10 for the Bobcats at their 11. We're under 2 to play, and we're going to take the knee right there and go into the half. I don't know how much time will be. And Columbia is headed down to their end of the field, to the locker room. We haven't got an official signal of halftime. Both teams are running off the field. So we'll call it halftime. Our score, PCS 14. Columbia 0. We'll take a short break and be back at halftime to bring you some stats, some numbers, and look forward to what's coming up for you in PCS athletics. Welcome back to Columbia, Mississippi. We're at halftime as PCS in their second road game of the year has a 14-0 lead over neighboring Columbia Academy. Drew, you've got some first half stats for us there. So read those out and tell us where we stand.
So far, it's been a running game, and that's not much of a surprise. I mean, we talked about it before the game. Really, anybody who's watched football for any length of time could kind of see that coming, to where both teams just really have to settle for the run, but which is not that big of an issue for us, since we like to run the football first anyway. Columbia's, they seem to be a run-first team as well. But so not really an advantage either way that I've seen. It may be, to me, maybe it looks like we've been almost we look more experienced in this type of condition. Hey, we've played in it three games in a row now. I don't know if Columbia has, but I know we have. This is our third game playing in sloppy conditions, and we seem to be, other than that one fumble there at the goal line, we seem to be doing better with these sloppy conditions. Anyway, first half stats were all rushing numbers, so I'll go ahead and say now there was nothing in the passing game. Columbia, Garrett McGee, their quarterback, he attempted 2 passes for nothing.
Interception.
One was interception. So that's the only stat number passing the ball, so that's not very good.
Yeah, Patterson was 0 for 1.
So anyway, Chandler Fairley led the Cougars in the first half. He had 8 carries for 33 yards, and he was the one we mentioned before the game to keep your eye on. Very, very big back, very powerful back. Most of his yards have come from just people dragging off. He's dragging Bobcat defenders, and it's not like he's just had really any wide open lanes to run through. But so really, he's had a hard-earned 33 yards in the first half. Will Rayburn, same thing, but he's only had 10 yards on 4 carries. And quarterback Garrett McGee, he's had a few big gains, probably the biggest running gains for Columbia, but he's had those offset by sacks and a few bobbled snaps, so he's only got 20 yards, whereas he would have had about 30 had it not been for those negative plays. He's got 9 carries and 20 yards, and for a team, Columbia has 21 total rushes for 63 yards, so pretty good job of defense by the Bobcats. And,
outstanding, 63 yards of total defense.
I mean, that's
wow.
Since there was nothing on the passing game, that's 63 is the total. That's it. So that's very good. That's very good numbers for your defense first half. And going to PCS, we had a lot more success running the football. And Fate Island led the Bobcats in the first half with 12 carries for 120 yards. So that's a whole game. That's a game's worth of yardage there.
I'm no math major, but I think that's 10 yards a carry.
10 yards a carry. His biggest gain was 40 yards, and he's got at least 1 or 2 of those in him every game. It seems like he's going to get a 40-yard gain. If you don't tackle him on that first attempt, he's gone. So if you're Columbia, you better focus on getting him down as soon as you touch him, or else. And second leading rusher for PCS is Lee Sigrist. He had 5 carries for 50 yards. So
11 yards a carry.
So
Not bad from your starting 2 backs there.
So 11 yards per carry, and both of them have a touchdown apiece. So
good balance
it's
there.
Very, very good balance, and very, very much expected. So very good consistency out of your top 2 running backs.
And I look at your stat sheet there. I see Hunter Norton, 1 carry, 12 yards. So he leads them all in yards per carry with 12 yards.
He does. And Hunter, he hasn't been very much involved in the offense, but he did have that 40-yard kickoff return to start the game, and he had that 12-yard carry there at the end of the half that got us in scoring position. So Hunter's hadn't had a whole lot of plays, but when he's had them, he's made the play. So so that was all the positive gains that I had. Daniel Patterson was sacked one time, from the backside. Didn't really see it coming for a loss of 5. So when you add all of that up, it's a total of 182 yards rushing in the first half for PCS. So that's something that you would expect almost in a whole game, and it's all been made in the first half. And, you know, it really says something when you have that much, and the clock is going as fast as it is because both teams are running it. That's all they can do.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that's 182 yards and about 10 minutes worth of time possession. So
we're almost through halftime here, and it's only 5 after 8. So at this rate, we'll be done by 8:45, 9 o'clock, and back home at a decent hour. You know, the Simpson game went fast, but this one's going just about as fast. You know, we talked about, or you've mentioned and made, no mistake about it. PCS 3 games on the year. Every one of them in wet, sloppy conditions, yet they've seemed to play well in every one of them. I mean, we came up just short of Jackson Academy, and then we defeat Simpson, which is a very good AA team, and a much improved Columbia team. And I'm telling you, if people underestimate this Columbia team and compare them to teams of past, they're going to lose. And I'll make the fact now, PCS 14-point lead here. They're going to have to get some more points on the board here to come out victorious. But the point I'm trying to make, successful running backs, the running game, over 100 yards, almost 200 total yards every game this season in this sloppy conditions. And Coach Hawkins likes to allude to his running backs as having a stable of runners, calls them stallions in practice.
He's got that for sure.
Oh, there's a term they call thoroughbreds that run well in the mud. They call them mudders. So we'll take a quick timeout and be right back to bring you the second half. The teams are coming out on the field. We'll be right back after a quick break to bring you second half action. We're back here in Columbia. We're getting set. The officials have blown the whistle. We don't have, again, a clock on the scoreboard to tell us that we're getting near. But we're going to take this opportunity as we get set for the second half kickoff, as PCS will kick to Columbia, to recognize a couple of sponsors real quick. First of all, the PCS Booster Club. We'd just like to say thank you for your continued support of PCS athletics over the years. All the success your Bobcats have is a direct result of your tireless efforts and sacrifice. If you would like information on how to get involved with the PCS Booster Club, just call the school office and they'll take care of you. Next week, we'll be interviewing co-president Debbie Azar at halftime of the Germantown High game. So tune in if you have any questions. She'll be telling us about some exciting promotions and projects coming up throughout the year. And the Paw Print Store. Be sure to go by and visit the Paw Print Store for all your Bobcat merchandise the next time you come out to Bobcat Stadium. It's just right there off the concession stand on the home side of the field. And suit up in all your Bobcat gear and show off that Bobcat spirit all year. Well, John Woods has the ball teed up at the 40-yard line, and we're getting set for second half action. And the kickoff is away. Returning it, that'll be 20. McNeese cutting back, spinning, and finally brought down up near the 25-yard line. So that's where Columbia will start on offense.
I think that was Dylan Edwards for PCS that tried to cut back there and make the tackle. He looked more like a baseball slide. Those conditions on the field, it's just bad. Anytime you try to make a quick cut, you're gonna fall. That's just all there is to it.
Shotgun, two backs for McGee. He'll give to Rayburn, running right side. Stacked up and brought down near the line of scrimmage. Maybe a half a yard gain on the play. Emerging at the bottom of the pile for PCS was big Al Winford. So that'll be 2nd and 9 for the Cougars. We're just underway here in the third quarter. Garrett McGee will be in the shotgun. Again, the delayed no huddle, we call it. Flanked by Fairley off the right shoulder. They'll send a man in motion, and whistles will stop the play. False start or illegal shift, false start on Columbia. That'll back them up 5 yards. Reset at 2nd and 14.
Well, it seems like Columbia just can't quite get the momentum going. They get a good play and they fumble it or have a bad snap. So
motion man. This is McGee off the right side keeping, and Winford will wrap him up and bring him to the turf. Minimal game back close to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a long possession play here, 3rd and about 11 or 12. Well, we'll call it 13. The PA man called it 13. We'll go with the PA man. 3rd and 13 for the Cougars. They'll send one receiver to the far side, 2 receivers, 3 receivers now. Trips to the far side. Single receiver near side is one, P.J. Hammond. As McGee is off the left shoulder now that's Fairley off the left shoulder of McGee. McGee keeping left side, trying to find room between there, dragging a couple of defenders, and finally brought down. I don't know whoever that was. I'm trying to get a number, but again, these muddy jerseys make it difficult. I think it was Justin Giroux. It was Justin Giroux got one hand on him, and he didn't let go. So that'll be 4th and long. Call it 4th and 8 as Cook will drop back to punt. Back deep is Island for PCS.
It's kind of interesting to see. 3rd and about 13 there in Columbia. Cook has a quarterback sneaker right up the middle, and kind of just shows you how bad these field conditions are. They don't even want to try to throw the ball.
No rush on Cook, and he gets off a good spiraling kick. And we had a flag come in way back near Island. It's the back judge. Delay a game maybe, or too many men on the field. We'll have to see. That had to be 12 men on the field from where that was thrown and to not blow the play dead. But that's my guess, and I'm just a lowly commentator.
Yep. It's too many men on the field, PCS, and I believe that's a 5-yard.
I think that's
penalty.
5 yard.
So it's still 4th down, I believe.
It'll be 4th and 3, deep in their own territory. So most likely we'll see Cook again, see if he can get off another one of those good punts. That one was a long spiraler. And I didn't get a count on that one. It wouldn't surprise me to see Columbia going here. Cook is on the sideline undoing his chin strap. So it looks like 4th and 3. Columbia has decided to go for it. Cook stays on the sideline. A lot of confusion from the Columbia side. Waiting to get the football switched out. So Columbia will have plenty of time to think this one over.
Now Columbia has 12 on field. All right, there goes one. What are they?
They marched off 15 yards. I don't understand. Okay, I'll have to get an explanation on that one later. As Coach Hawkins was getting an explanation, I'll have to figure out what that was. So it'll be 1st and 10 all the way up at the Columbia, just across the 40-yard line for the Cougars. I'm like you, Drew. I thought illegal substitution was a 5-yard penalty. But nevertheless, 1st and 10. Columbia will send 3 receivers far side. 1 to the near side is Hammond. McGee and Fairley. He'll give to Fairley, and Fairley will trip and stumble forward for a 2-yard gain.
Fairley will take it off the left side for the Cougars. Up to the 40.
And I thought that when the official did this, it's kind of both hands on the top of the head. That was a substitution infraction. I've never seen a 15-yarder.
It must have been something else for me, because I'm almost certain that is a 5-yard penalty. So it must have been something we didn't see.
Looks like a sideline warning or something on this side for PCS.
On the PCS side?
Yeah, flag came from over there. Probably had something to do with the penalty a minute ago, and it was a sideline warning.
Well, that's an interesting call because Coach Kenny Williams has been 5 yards on the field since the kickoff.
Yep.
So
that's true.
So 2nd and 8. Finally, we'll get to the play. Fairley and McGee in the backfield. McGee will keep it, and he runs into a pile. And he'll have about 5 on the play. Bring up about 3rd and 3. So a big 3rd down here, as the line to gain is the 50. About 3.5 yards here. They'll go trips to the far side, 1 to the near side. Fairly off the left shoulder of McGee in the shotgun. Give to Fairley. Spinning, and Harvey trying to hold on. Harvey and Winford will bring him down, but not before Fairley will move the chains for the Cougars. So that penalty coming back to haunt PCS as Columbia is able to push the ball across midfield.
Kind of reminiscent of last week when we got Simpson 3 and out, and had that that pass interference call down their sideline that I never saw, and but it's part of it. That's part of it. You got to get back in it and keep your head in and just make the next play.
Had a late run in from PCS, and then Columbia had 3 guys jump off sides, and flags came flying. They'll march this one back. It'll be a false start against Columbia. So 1st and 15. Boy, we talked about the field being sloppy, but right now these teams are looking sloppy, both sides.
Well, it definitely happens even more when you got sloppy conditions. So
McGee will keep it right side, trying to get the edge. Being chased by Harvey, and Harvey will bring him down. Great play there, ranging to his left by Dakota Harvey.
McGee's got some speed to get to the outside, and Harvey showed just as much speed to keep up with him there. So that was a really good play, because if Harvey didn't get away there, if McGee had managed to get away there, he easily had.
Yeah, he definitely had some real estate
10,
in front of him.
10, maybe 15 going up the sideline. So that was a really, really good play, and kind of a clutch play to keep Columbia in a 3rd and long situation. Second and long.
2nd and 14, play clock under 5, and no signal. I think we're going to have a timeout here from Columbia.
Columbia will call timeout. A 3rd quarter score, Simpson Academy 10, Brookhaven Academy 6.
Ooh, we just got an update here from the stadium. Simpson is leading Brookhaven in the 3rd quarter 10-6. We talked about Simpson. Faced this team last week. Very good ball game there from Simpson and Brookhaven. And, Drew, you mentioned it earlier. As we talked about 14-0, we're going to have to get some more points on the board if you're PCS before you can feel comfortable. This is a very game Columbia squad. He talked about in the interview Coach Hawkins gave in the pregame how it's been really Columbia had our number early. And we wouldn't look back all the way to 2004. And from 2004 to 2006, Columbia won those 3 meetings 18-6, 12-6, and 14-13. So very close contest. But from 2007 all the way up until last year, PCS has rattled off 5 consecutive wins. A 1-point margin in 07, 17-16. And then it's been really one-sided as PCS 35-7, 34-13, 40-0 on this field 2 years ago. And last year in Hattiesburg, 42-7. But this has got all the makings of going down to the wire. As we sit at 14-0 here in this. Ball near midfield. Columbia needing 4 yards. They'll send, I thought they were sending guys in motion. That's just another false start.
Well, they did send them in motion, but not quite the legal type.
I tell you, both sides, when they go offside, when they false start, it's a whole.
No doubt.
It's a mass movement.
So that just Columbia. I mentioned it a minute ago. They make some good plays. They have a good drive going, and they start false starting and fumbling the ball.
They'll send a motion man. McGee will keep. He's into the secondary. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage and then falls forward for a few more. So it'll be a manageable 3rd down. It'll be about a 3rd and 6 or 7. We'll see where they spot it. So I think it'll be about a 3rd and 7 for the Cougars here. That's a big run by McGee there. They sent Rayburn in motion, a speed sweep, faked it to him, and then McGee kept it up the middle, found the crease, and gets a 12-yard gain. He'll do the same thing here, trying to cut back. Nothing doing here. He'll get a couple of yards, if anything, but he's short of the 1st down. So it'll be a 4th down inside PCS territory up near the 40-yard line, called the 42.
Well, Garrett McGee has proven to be Columbia's most dangerous runner.
Absolutely.
Coming from the quarterback position. So, not really a whole lot of passing from him as we've seen. And I don't really think that it has anything to do with their field conditions as much as that's just Columbia's style. So
4th and 4 here. They'll go they'll send Rayburn in motion. They'll give it to him, a speed sweep, trying to get outside. He's got the edge. He's got the 1st down, trying to get more. Trying to get a number on that tackle there. Stephen Jones as well as Chris Addison combined to save the touchdown. But again, a clutch 3rd down, 4th down conversion moves the chains. It'll be 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 33.5-yard line of the Bobcats. Well, last week we had a 2-possession 3rd quarter. We had Simpson drove down, had 1 possession. PCS got the ball, drove down, 1 possession, and 3rd quarter ended. Looking like the same way. This in Rayburn speed motion. They found something here as McGee keeps it right side. Gain of about 5 on the play. before Jones comes up to make the stop.
And you're right. I believe they found a little something here, faking
That speed sweep.
Faking the speed sweep, and Garrett McGee keeping it. And he gave it to Rayburn a minute ago, so we're going to have to do something adjustment-wise here, and adjust to this. Whatever they're doing here is kind of throwing us off defensively, and they're taking advantage of using McGee's speed.
Rayburn in motion again. He'll get across before the snap. This will be a give to Fairley, hitting the backfield, stacked up, trying to get a number on who hit him initially. That'll be a big play. Morgan Giroux, and that's Tyler Henderson there with the initial contact.
Well, we've got Fairley much bottled up, it looks like. Thinking back to the last two games, the opponents, Simpson and J.A., they had more success bouncing out to the outside. And that seems to be what Columbia's had more success on this drive. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here.
3rd and 8 for Columbia. Rayburn in motion. McGee keeps again. Lee Sigris playing defense. Sheds a block and will bring down McGee at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Well, basically, all you got to do there, somebody's got to go with the sweep guy, and somebody's got to go with Garrett McGee there, and that's what we did. Did a better job of staying at home and playing defense better there. Something to keep an eye on is maybe they put a little play action fake into it. I don't know. Maybe not with how wet it is, but that's just something to keep an eye on.
4th and 8. Columbia will go for it deep in Bobcat territory. A pass. Sigris blitzing from the blind side. Brings down McGee. Turnover on downs.
Well, Lee Sigris says, if y'all can't do defense, I will. So he switches sides on the ball. I haven't really seen much of him on defense this year.
Yeah, we haven't. I mean, he really is. He's about the 4th linebackers. They want to keep him fresh for offense. We'll have an official's timeout for a water break, but Sigris came in blitzing. They sent 2 linebackers on the outside stunt, and Parrish forced him up in the pocket. Then Sigris pounced on him from behind. But Sigris giving Dakota Harvey a little bit of a break. Makes 2 key plays back-to-back there to get the ball back in PCS hands.
Well, that Columbia gave it everything they had there, and Sigris came in and made 2 big stops there for a loss on both plays. So Sigris just playing out of his mind and doing it on both sides of the ball. So very, very, very good game so far for Lee.
Be first down PCS. We'll send Rand Henderson wide to the near side of the field. Tyler Young in the slot. Burks and Island in the I formation. We'll give to Island right side. Trying to get away from Fairley, but Fairley will not let him go. So no gain on that play. He had one man to beat and just couldn't beat him. We'll do it all again. We'll flip the formation. Same play, left side. And guess who makes the play? Chandler Fairley again. Same play, left side, no gain. 3rd and 10, just like that. Same song, second verse. Do this one in reverse. 3rd and 10 for the Bobcats. Well, 9.5. He got a little bit of a gain there. Go I formation. Same formation. We'll go actually split it now. Well, fake the toss, give to Sigris. Sigris, one man. That's Rayburn. Tripped him up. A late motion there from Sigris, and they fake the toss to Burks and bring back the counter to Sigris, and he'll get up near the yard to gain. He's at the just shy of the 45. It'll be 4th and 2, and I don't see a punter coming onto the field. Wow, a little bit of a risky play here. Patterson will come back, and we'll go for it here. Well, I'll take that back. Island is back in punt formation. Nope, he's in I formation. So we're going here. They'll give to Island. He's at the sticks, lunging over. It'll depend on the spot.
He got
Judging by the far side, but he's going to have the first down by about 1.5 yards. So first down, PCS there.
Talk about a lot of confidence in your running backs and your offensive line there. That's a pretty brave play there from Coach Hawkins, and I'm impressed at how the guys carried it out. And like an injury for Columbia, injury timeout.
The tackler Bobby Cottrell was slow to get up there, and we have an official's timeout on the field.
That's a big fourth down conversion.
Absolutely.
You keep the ball. And if you don't get it, Columbia's got it inside our territory already. And but that could be as much of a confidence thing with your running backs as it is with your defense. And Coach Hawkins apparently felt very comfortable with even if we didn't get it, to put it back in the defense's hands and come away still up 14-0 and keep Columbia scoreless. So big risk, big play. And sometimes you just got to do it. And
that's a big tackle there from Cottrell, because all the tackles on that series were one-man tackles. Fairley made 2 of them. Cottrell, that one, that could have gone for a big play. So those are big tackles as we'll go in the big formation now. Sigris behind Burks, 3 tight ends. On first down. Give to Sigris. Hit and driving forward. He'll be up across midfield. Gain of about 5, brought down by big Cody McGee. It's the first time we've mentioned him since the pregame. So PCS doing a good job of getting a hat on Cody McGee. 2nd and 5 for the Bobcats. And we're again. Officials are stopping. Oh, end of the third quarter. Okay, I saw the crossed arms over the head. That's the end of the third quarter. So we'll flip just across midfield. Didn't seem like it took that long. So end of the third quarter. We'll go into the fourth. Your Bobcats lead still 14-0. We'll take a short break and be right back with the final quarter of action. You're listening to PCS Football on the Bobcat Sports Network. We're back as PCS will have the ball. 2nd and 5. Breaking free of Sigris into the open field. He'll coast into the end zone. Touchdown, Bobcats.
Wow. How many times have we seen that from Sigris? He just sidestepped one guy and outran the next defender in the secondary to the sideline, and he was gone. So Sigris does it again. That one is a 49-yard touchdown, first play from scrimmage in the fourth quarter. Very, very nice run there from Lee, and he's just doing it all over the place.
So they'll go for 2 here, and we're going to have a timeout, PCS. So a little uncomfortable with the play call there, the personnel package, something, and PCS will burn a timeout. It'll happen fast. We barely got back from the commercial and got the graphics changed out before Sigris was in the secondary and scooting free for his 2nd touchdown of the night. And if I just kind of thinking in my head, that's got to be near 100 yards for Sigris.
That would be about 110. So pretty good guesstimate.
That'll be his best effort of the season. Last week he cracked the 100-yard mark at 102, and this week 110 so far. That'll be his best effort of the young season. So now we'll line up and go for two. And we'll have split receivers Norton and Addison to the far side, along with tight end Robbie Morgan. I formation with Sigrist and Island behind. Daniel Patterson, senior quarterback. He'll take the snap, fake it, rolling, looking. He's got Addison. He'll keep it himself, and ends in the end zone for the two-point conversion is Patterson. So Patterson had a couple of receivers there, makes the smart play, just tucks and runs into the open end zone for the two-point conversion. 22-0 is our score. So we're in the early stages of the fourth quarter, just inside. I mean, the first play of the fourth quarter went for a touchdown, so I believe we're within under 10 seconds into the fourth quarter. And John Woods will be teeing up his fourth kickoff of the night.
Kind of looked like Columbia may have gave up a little bit on that two-point conversion, and he can kind of take the breath out of you a little bit, giving up a 49-yard touchdown to start the fourth quarter. So
definitely, I mean it's 14-0. You get a chance right here if you can make a stop on that fourth down. Hey, this is a whole new ball game. They get it the fourth down by 2 yards, and then the quarter ends. You're within striking distance, and then Sigrist rips off one as Woods will send this one low liner back, go through the hands and into the end zone of McNeese.
Been some pretty impressive kickoffs in this game from both sides. So
Woods has steadily improved every game. In the JA game, he got a little bit of action, missed an extra point, and then Simpson did very good on extra point and kickoff duty. And then tonight, he's been a very good factor. He missed his only extra point just to the right. I thought it was good. Again, I guess I don't have the eyesight that I thought I had. But now
it's hard to believe we don't know every call up here.
I know.
50 yards, 75 yards from the play.
So shotgun formation, twin receivers each side. McGee keeps it up the middle. And combining on the stop will be Harvey and Broadhead. Broadhead drawing the start last week at strong safety for Coach Hawkins' defense. Done a great job stepping into the starting lineup. Again, Columbia runs this delayed no huddle. Fairley will be off the right shoulder of McGee. He'll shift around left side now. Snap. McGee keeps it left side, trying to find daylight. Plunging forward through the pile. And he'll have enough for the first down. Out across the 35-yard line, I believe.
And you can tell Garrett McGee, he's really having to kind of take up for Fairley's, Fairley having to play on both sides of the ball, as McGee has had twice as many carries as Fairley has had. But, Garrett McGee's doing a very good job running the ball.
He'll give to Fairley this time, and he'll drag two linebackers forward for about a 6-yard gain there.
Well, we got a three-score lead. We can't sit back. You can tell Columbia's not giving up on the offensive side of the ball. That's three very impressive runs that they easily could have gave up on after the first or second hit, but they dragged a couple of tacklers with them. So that just tells you right there they're not done yet. So we got to stay in the ball games to keep your head in the ball game defensively and make your tackles. As Columbia's not done yet.
Play clock down to 4 as the snap is made to McGee. He'll give to Fairley, and it'll take 2 or 3 Bobcats to bring him down, but he's across the line to gain. 1st and 10 Columbia as they cross into Bobcat, or are on the verge of crossing into Bobcat territory.
Well, just a prime example of what I just talked about. And Fairley given the extra effort to get across the first down marker and get a couple extra yards, and here they go.
So Cook will check in as the slot receiver near side, and Rayburn will spell Fairley. McGee and Rayburn in the shotgun backfield. Snap to McGee. He'll fake to Rayburn and keep. Hit by one man and then brought down by Sygrist. First one on the play. That was 64, Michael Cooper, shooting the gap and getting a hit to slow McGee down. Short gain. We'll call it 1 yard gain. We'll call it 2nd and 9 for the Cougar offense. At their own 49-yard line. McGee and Rayburn. He'll give to Rayburn. Sweeping far side. Got some room. He's caught from behind by Dakota Harvey. But, again, by 1 yard, he gets the first down. And Columbia's got something going here. 1st and 10 again. Columbia. A lot of second down conversions we're seeing here.
Well, we didn't really have anybody on the left side of the field. And they took advantage, had a little speed sweep, and 10 yards just like that.
Rayburn will be off the left shoulder of McGee. They'll send trip receivers to the near side of the formation. Snap high, brought down. McGee will keep it. And Matthew Stevens will trip him up for a gain of 1 on the play.
That was a good play there by Matthew because McGee, if he had broken that one, he had another 6 to 7 yards. So
tremendous play there. The long arms of Stevens.
Very good play. Very good play to keep McGee to a minimal gain. And, you know, one good play can start another one. So we just got to keep our head in it, keep playing.
Snap to McGee again. He'll give to, he keeps it, pulls it and keeps it. He's got some room. And again, a second down conversion before Wilson Benton can drop him in the secondary. Second down has been a killer here in the fourth quarter for the PCS defense. Columbia moving the ball very consistently here. No surprise, as you mentioned, it's Garrett McGee doing most of that heavy lifting. He'll be flanked by Rayburn as they send 2 receivers to each side of the shotgun formation. Been that way all night. The snap. McGee keeps it. He's hit by Cooper in the backfield. And pushing backwards, Cooper, Henderson, and McGowan. Those 3 defensive tackles.
Well, that was the first negative play and several plays for Columbia there. Well, like we kind of expected it a little more there. And, you know, it's a mindset thing. You know, we've stopped them all game. We can't relax when we get up by 3 scores because Columbia's on their home field. They want to win. They're not going to quit.
Rayburn sweeping far side, cutting back, trying to spring free. He's got a blocker in front, but Michael Patterson will corral the ball carrier, halting the touchdown run. But another chain-moving carry there, this time by Rayburn.
Well, they've gone back to what they were having success on last drive, and that is that speed sweep. And, you know, why not do it until we stop it?
Absolutely. I say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it ain't been broke this fourth quarter.
Definitely not broke.
They'll go 5 receivers, trips to the near side, 2 to the far side. McGee by himself in the shotgun. He'll take the snap, quarterback keeper. Stevens hits him, and falling forward is McGee. Gain of, looks like 3 on the play. First time we've seen them empty the backfield. Second and 7 for Columbia. Waiting to get a time update from the PA as the game clock and scoreboard are not working. Fairley checking back in. This is his territory inside the red zone. McGee will keep it, though. And he will coast outside near the pylon into the end zone for a Cougar touchdown. So that will put Columbia on the board. And Cook will come on for the extra point. Placing the ball down will be Alex Price. And your snapper is 51, Trevor Ball. Wobbly snap, gets it down, and Cook booms this one through the uprights. And into the back 40. So the score 22-7, and I believe we have 5 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the contest. So under 6 to play, PCS leads 22-7 over the homestanding Columbia Cougars. And what you want to see right here, if you're Coach Hawkins and the Bobcat faithful, you want to have a drive just like the last one. Take about 4 minutes off the clock. If you can punch it in, punch it in. If not, run all 5 minutes and 54 seconds off of that clock.
Well, it kind of seemed like we came in after Cygris took that 49-yard touchdown, first play from the fourth quarter, and just kind of came back out on the field and didn't have a whole lot of focus and just really a whole lot of energy. And it showed, as there was really not much to stop Columbia there on that drive. And, you've been stopping them all game. What was the difference there? So we got to tighten back up. 5.5 minutes left in the game, and there's still plenty of time for Columbia to make some noise. We need a good drive here, hold on to the football, get a few first downs at least, and get that clock down to around 2 minutes at least.
And you don't want to fall asleep right here if you're the hands team. I see some low numbers up front. Lee Smith recovered a key onside kick last week from Simpson. Chris Addison, Sygrist,
And it looks
Robbie
like,
Broadhead.
You're right. It looks like we're kind of expecting it, which is a good thing. You always expect something like this.
Dustin Webster.
This
That's
time
it,
of
and
the
especially
game.
with a great kicker like Logan Cook.
Definitely.
I mean, he's done this before. There you see a little squib kick and squirting through, and I'll see if I can get a number on who fell on that. It's a clean white jersey, hasn't played very much. That's Wilson Benton. Wilson Benton there. And in this wet, sloppy ground, that ball doesn't grab and flip in the air like it normally does. So PCS with excellent field position. They take over at their own 42-yard line, 1st and 10.
Well, interesting thing there, Columbia had 63 yards the whole game coming into that drive. This last drive, they got 80, an 80-yard drive, and that one series. So not a very good job by the defense that time.
Snap, give to Island. Plunging his way, he'll be dropped by, that was Will Rayburn, but not before about a 5-yard gain for Fate Island.
And, it happens there. It's hard to come back for the defense to come back after a play. You go up 22-0 in the fourth quarter. It's hard to keep that same intensity, that same focus that you had the whole game. And, we kind of had maybe a little bit of a mental lapse, and the offense needs to come back out here and have a nice, sustained drive.
They'll go twin receivers near side along with the tight end. Burks in front of Sygrist, I believe. Run the clock all the way down. They'll give to Sygrist over the left side. Stacked up. Gain of about 3 on the play. Tackled there by Cordell Rainey. They'll spot him down back a little bit, a yard from where I figured. So gain of 1, 3rd and 4, and this is the third down you got to make right here if you're PCS.
Well, you really can't go for it if you don't get it. You're in Columbia's territory. So it's, like you said, pretty big play, and we need to get the first down here.
As Sygrist will check out, Burks in at fullback in front of Island. Twin receivers far side. They'll fake the toss, reverse. Island looking to cut back. He's got the first down if he can hold on to the ball. And he does. Ball up near the 43-yard line of Columbia. Converts. Hacksaw Herring on the tackle.
I don't know if I want to be tackled by him.
It's one of the best names we've heard all year.
And that was a play that, I mean, it goes without saying, really. But we get 3 more plays, and you get to run about over a minute at least off the clock again. So
Absolutely. And Patterson will stand behind center and stare down that play clock as it just now rolls to 15 seconds. He'll take the snap and give. I think this is Sigrist spinning away from defenders up across the 35-yard line to the 34 of Columbia. Gain of about 7 on the play will bring up 2nd and 3.
This is where it helps to have such a good stable of running backs for PCS. And you can just hand it to them and say, go to town. And that's what we're doing, 5 to 8 yards a carry. I mean, when you get plays like that, I mean, it's hard to stop. I mean, if you're Columbia, you're really in a bad situation when PCS is in running out the clock mode. 3
tight ends for Burks, and Norton now getting a carry. Gets away from the first man, plunging across the 30 to the 29 for a first down is Hunter Norton. You mentioned that stable of backs, so let's bring in a fresh one right there. Hunter Norton move the chains, 1st and 10, Bobcats, as we're probably under 3 minutes to play now.
And that was another 8-yard carry, so you bring in Sigrist 8 yards, Island about 8, and then bring in Norton 8. So very consistent, and, it's really hard to stop, as I mentioned.
That was close. 3 minutes and 10 seconds after that run. We're under 3 now. As Island will fake the toss, they'll give to Sigrist on the counter play. He's got some room, cutting back, makes one man miss. That's Cook, and he'll go into the end zone untouched for his 3rd touchdown of the ball game. 39-yard touchdown run for Lee Sigrist.
He just makes it look so easy. I mean, he waits. He waits for his blocking to set up, and when he does, you can't tackle him. He makes all the right moves. He's smart. He could easily just try to run over that defender there, but he waited for his blocker to come help him out.
Well, Cook did exactly what you're supposed to do there. He broke down in the secondary to bring the tackle down on the safety, but his feet just went out from under him as John Woods hammers this one home for the 29th Bobcat point of the night.
Sigrist he's so impressive. I started bragging on him last season. I'll have to add up his numbers here in a minute, but he's got 3 touchdowns, 2 of them 49.
The last one was 29 yards. I want to apologize. 29 yards.
Okay. 1 of 29, 1 of 49. And, I mean, it's so impressive to watch him and Fate run the ball. And you got 2 running backs like that. It's just so dangerous. They can go the distance every time they touch the ball.
And you want to know the best part about it? They're coming back next year.
Yeah, that's true. And, I mean, Fate's back even another year. That's just what's so amazing is they're so young. They're young.
They're, being showcased here. 29-7. You see the ball there teed up for John Woods as he gets set to kick off for the 5th time tonight. It's always good when your kicker gets a lot of kickoffs in. Rayburn will field this one, bobbles it, picks it up at his 5, coming near side, and bows his head, trying to absorb the hit. And Robert Upton. Robert Upton's made about 4 solo tackles tonight on special teams, so a shout out there to Robert Upton, who's been great in kickoff coverage. The speedster, outstanding on the track, outstanding on special teams. 2:35 remaining. Columbia will take over, down 29-7. They'll send trips to the near side. Now 2 receivers will go far side to the near side. McGee and Fairley in the backfield. Give to Fairley up the middle. He spun down, got past the first line of defenders, but knocked down. Combining on the tackle will be Island, Morgan, and I believe that is Dakota Harvey. I'm not sure if Dakota has any numbers on his jersey right now.
Well, that's that's football. You know, that's real tough football. Played in the mud, all these wet conditions, and nothing. Hard-nosed ground game. You know, that's your old-fashioned type football.
You got the halo defensive low snap bobbled and taken by Fairley. Will drop back for a loss on that play. Will set up 3rd and about 10, and Columbia will call a timeout. But as I was mentioning, you had the halo defense come in. Wilson Benton, Lee Smith, Dustin Webster, and Austin Riles, I believe, was in on that play. He had 4 fresh white jerseys about 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. Making sure no one got behind them. Call it the halo. They're back there just to protect you.
Well, there's no sense in, getting up pressuring any receivers, and don't want to give up some sort of big, long play. About 2.5 minutes, I think, left in the game, and up 22 points. No reason to risk anything long, and that's obviously the best thing to do in this situation. Just kind of play off the line, and you can also get some of your younger guys some experience, get them out there and play here late in the game. And anytime you can have this sort of a lead, why not?
Absolutely. So we'll see that same halo defense come back in. Just got an update. Simpson leads Brookhaven 17-13. Good contest there. McGee will be in the shotgun with Rayburn off his right shoulder.
Simpson and Brookhaven are often powerhouses in AA.
McGee looking to pass, steps up, goes across the middle behind his intended receiver, and almost making the interception was Dakota Harvey. I think Harvey got a finger on it, and Lee Smith came up to apply a hit to the receiver. Intended receiver, I believe, was 18 Logan Cook.
How many times can you say you're down to about 2 minutes left in the ball game, and there has not been one completed pass? I guess you could say there's been one completed to the other team, but that's it.
So 4th and 5 for Columbia, deep in their own territory. Under 2 minutes to play. Cook will drop back to punt it away. Under 5 on the play clock. PCS will send nobody back deep. Don't want to risk a turnover here. And Columbia will run the clock all the way down, take a delay of game penalty, and back it up again. So 4th and 10. No consequence at this point in the game. Again, Cook standing in his own 5. I would expect no rush and no coverage here for PCS. Low snap. Cook gets it away. Good kick down the sideline. Bounds, out of bounds. And around the PCS 37-yard line. So that's where the Cats will take over. We'll try to get a time update again. The scoreboard isn't working. We have no clue exactly what time it is. We know it's late in the 4th quarter, and your Bobcats lead 29-7. And we'll try to get a time update whenever possible. And we'll see some fresh faces for the Bobcats. Second squad, Broadhead will take over at quarterback. Robert Upton, the receiver. See if we can get some names out here. 62, Austin Thornton. 64, Michael Cooper. 55, Jace Broom. 67, that is Zach Buffkin. I think I saw 78, Preston Austin. Broadhead will give. This is to Burks. Burks plunges forward. Jonathan Burks, his brother, split out receiver, and you had Hunter Norton in the backfield. We got the mentions in, and we'll get some switch out here. Austin Riles will come in now. Lee Smith also into the ball game. Smith will be split out to the near side. Riles takes over for Burks at fullback. Norton will dot the I behind Riles. Broadhead under center. Broadhead looking at that play clock, under 15. He'll wind it all the way down. No hurry here. Take the snap. He'll give to Riles. Riles carrying left side. He's got such a low center of gravity, it's tough to bring him down. Riles gets a gain of about a yard and a half on the play. We'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
And Will Raven for Columbia. No gain on the play, 3rd and 7, coming up for Bobcat.
Riles checking out along with Smith. We'll bring back Burks and Norton. Burks and Upton. Robert Upton, the special teamer we mentioned, will be split to the near side as a receiver. Third down. Toss to Norton. Trying to get to the edge. He does. Trying to cut back now, and he's brought down at midfield by Cordell Rainey. And that'll be the final play of the ball game. Your final score, PCS 29, Columbia 7. We'll step aside for a short break. Be back to bring you some final stats, say our last thank yous, and to wrap this one up here from Columbia. You're listening to Bobcat Football on the PCS Broadcast Network. Welcome back here. We're in the postgame segment of our broadcast, and we're going to get some final stats and figures here from Drew in just a moment. Your final score, we'll recap again, PCS 29, Columbia 7. And Drew will give you some final stats, and then we'll give you an upcoming preview of what's coming your way up here pretty soon for PCS Athletics. Drew?
We'll start with Columbia. As you mentioned, the final score 29-7 PCS. Garrett McGee, the quarterback, was actually their leading rusher for Columbia Academy. Only passed about 3 times and no completions. He had an interception, and he was quite the workhorse for Columbia. He had about between 20 and 22 carries for Columbia, and had 102 yards rushing. So
from the quarterback position.
That's 102 yards from the quarterback position. So McGee was very good for the Cougars tonight, and he probably got, I should have gone back to tally it up, but he had about 70 yards on just one drive, and then that only scoring drive that Columbia had. And but anyway, that's not to take away from anything that he did. He had a very good game, very impressive running the football from your quarterback. And the second leading rusher for Columbia was Chandler Fairley. He was the guy that we kind of told you to look out for at the beginning. Turns out that he wasn't the leading rusher by nearly half. Garrett McGee had 102 yards, and Fairley had half of that at 51. So, Fairley didn't get but about half the carries too. So, but Fairley still had a good game, and Garrett McGee got the only rushing touchdown, the only touchdown at all for Columbia. And Will Rayburn also got in on the running action for Columbia. He had about 8 carries for 47. And going over to PCS, Lee Sigris again led the Bobcats rushing. Lee had 11 carries for 157 yards.
On 11 carries?
11 carries. He had 5 carries in the first half, 6 in the second. And it just kind of give you a reminder of what he had. He had 55 yards in the first half, and ended up with 157. So
he had 5 for 55 in the first half. That gives him 6 for 102.
Yes. So he had a 49-yard touchdown run as well as a 29-yard touchdown run, and in the second half ended up with 3 total. So 11 carries, 157 yards, 3 touchdowns. Very impressive game from Lee Sigris. And, of course, Fade Island was the next leading rusher with 17 carries, 140 yards, and a touchdown. So Fate had very good numbers as well. I would say I'm surprised, but, I'm really not, because this is it's
becoming the norm for these guys.
It's very normal. Yeah, you're right. It's very normal to have these kind of numbers from these guys, and they keep getting better every week. And it's not like your competition's slacking off any. I mean, it's just, we're playing very good competition, and they're still getting these kind of numbers. So, very impressive. Hunter Norton also got in with 3 carries for 33 yards. So, again, about 11 yards per carry, and I end up adding up all the, all the totals, and we had 32 carries as a team for 325 yards rushing, and that's just very impressive when you're really limited to nothing but running the football, and because passing is it's too the field's too wet, it's too muddy. It's not even worth trying to have a passing game. And when you can still get 325 yards being one-dimensional, that just says a lot about your running backs, about your offensive line. It's just very, very impressive. And adding it all up, kind of dividing that 325 number by your 32 carries, ended up being over 10 yards per carry as a team. So
it's impressive.
I mean, you can't say it enough. It's just very, very, very good, very good running game, and becoming the norm for Coach Hawkins' team. And if we can keep this type of running game going, add in some passing when we have actually good field conditions, we're a very, very dangerous team. We're going to be quite the team to handle as we head into district play, and I guarantee you, teams like Jackson Prep, they're not going to play us. It's going to be quite interesting to see how it turns out as we head towards playoff time.
Absolutely. And just like you mentioned, this competition is not lacking here. Columbia's a good team. Probably this is a playoff contending team this year. It'll be interesting to keep in touch with them, see how they do. I'm like you. I'm anxious to see these backs on a normal, fast track.
Exactly.
And kind of see what they can do.
And I just got to believe, after playing JA a couple weeks ago, just seeing how even we were with them, I got to believe that when we play Jackson Prep in a few weeks, it's going to be a very interesting game. Prep is obviously, they're the top dog. I mean, they're always going to be a top dog.
You've got an SEC quarterback,
right? I mean, it's just they set the bar.
Yeah,
for
they are
school.
the bar this year. They are the on the top of the hill right now. Of course, now you can't discount Jackson Academy until someone knocks them off.
No.
But so far from what we've seen, Jackson Prep has outclassed everyone so far they've faced this season. And we'll see coming up pretty soon. We'll have to travel to Jackson Prep this year and see how that goes. Upcoming next week for the Bobcats, they'll be home. They're home next week and the week after. We take on 4A Germantown High School from Gluckstadt. The Mavericks will come into Hattiesburg. Last year, their inaugural season as a program, PCS came out victorious on their way to 8 wins that year, on 8-4 mark. This year, Germantown brings 96 players in to Hattiesburg. That'll be a couple of bus loads. Not sure where they'll park those buses, and hopefully we'll have some dry ground to park them. But we welcome Germantown next week, and then we start district play the week after as East Rankin comes calling. And I'm telling you, that'll be the beginning of a streak of quarterbacks that PCS will have to face that are very, very talented, multifaceted. You had McGee tonight. I tell you what, Jacob Weldon is one you don't want to sleep on at quarterback. Very, very tremendous, gifted speedster. Got an arm. He's got weapons. Watch out for Jacob Weldon in 2 weeks against East Rankin. Then we'll be back on the road. But and also a couple things upcoming when we come back from Labor Day. Next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, PCS will be taking on Sacred Heart in volleyball. We'll bring you that action live and in color. We'll bring you that action at Reese Gymnasium. If you're not able to come out, you can check that game out online as well. It'll be archived too. So we thank you for joining us. And for Drew Smith, I'm Nathan Dancy signing off. Once again, PCS victorious 29-7 over Columbia Academy. Thank you for watching PCS football on the Bobcat Sports Network.